All right, here it comes, a commercial. That's right, because I'm coming your way, Florida. That's right, I'm revving up because it's back on the road for me. I'm going to be performing in Florida. That's coming up quickly. March 6th, get your tickets to the Villages if you're around there. The Sharon L. Morse Performing Arts Center, March 7th, Jacksonville, Florida. At the Florida Theater, March 8th, Clearwater, Florida, the Ruth Eckerd Hall. March 11th, Sarasota, Florida, at the Van Weasel Performing Arts Hall. March 13th, that's right, Stewart, Florida, at the Lyric. And March 14th at the Fort Myers at the Barbara B-Man Performing Arts Hall there. And then on to Canada, and I'm excited about this, Massey Hall, Toronto on March 21st, March 22nd. In Montreal at Olympia. And will I be staying in Canada? Well, we'll just have to see. And finally, for the time being, if you're looking for something to do around Chapel Hill on April 29th, that's right, I return to my alma mater. I'll be at Memorial Hall, and I'm really thrilled to be going back. It's a second home, maybe a first in a lot of ways. Okay, and if you missed it, go to the website. This could all go horribly wrong at any minute. Hello, one and all, and welcome to the 411th edition of Louis Black's Rantcast, entitled, How Crazy Can Crazy Get? And it's really a question I've been asking all week, all right, as things seem to be rolling into a whole new level of craziness. Here's the fact, okay? We are going to need a stress test soon for how crazy can crazy make us. And I'm telling you, I'm beginning to believe that crazy is actually a bigger distance, that craziness goes further than what? Than infinity. That's right. Everybody thinks infinity is the keeps going and going and going. Nope. Not the way things are now. Craziness keeps going and stretches the bounds of the human imagination and forces us to really have to deal with a kind of profound stress that is beyond many of our imaginations. And we are going to have to find a stress test to say, hey, you have to stop the craziness here. I'm sure there are other people around who this is all seems perfectly normal to, the folks who believe in the 2025, which we were told was going to happen, but the Democrats went, do something about it because we don't know what to do. And so now it's been thrown in our laps and we just deal with it on a daily basis. And at first I thought it was just in terms of the government, but business is doing its job too. I went through a series of fucking corporate machinations is the only word I've got for it. And it's not a word that I've really ever used, I don't think, in the Rantcast or probably in my act. Unbelievably, I am lucky enough to buy. I had to buy a new computer because the one that I had was just getting to the point that it would be easier to write it on a clay tablet, I guess, with papyrus or papyrus with whatever. I won't even begin to explain what I was trying to say to you, but it was just too slow, and I'm lucky enough to be able to afford a new one. I'm very, very lucky. I realize that, and they would call this a third world problem or whatever the hell. First word problem. It's a problem though, and the folks at Best Buy, do not shop there. Do not, if you want to go in and buy something and you get it and you take it home immediately, do that. All right. Do not think if you're calling a Best Buy that you are actually talking to the store. That now goes really to someone who's out there somewhere in an office or in their home who's dealing with you and isn't at the store. So doesn't really know. And they may be looking at some sort of files that they have that they've been given by the store. But I literally fell down a rabbit hole. I talked to these people. I don't know why. I've been screwed by Best Buy. The last two things that I've purchased from them over the past 3 or 4 years. So I have a tendency to forget because I've had, until the pandemic, a great great relationship with them and thought they were really doing a terrific job. Well, they're not anymore. They're not even close. They're not even in the ballpark. Okay, so I make the order and I'm told that it'll be coming 2 days later. This is last week. It's going to come on February 13th. And I'm very excited. On February 13th, I get a backup thing that's telling me that it's coming. And I am told it will be brought by someone from the Geek Squad. They will bring it and help me set it up. And they will do all the things that will make it possible. They will transfer the information from one computer to the other. They will make my life very easy because why? When it comes to tech, it inevitably bites me in the ass. I mean, inevitably. It's not a mistake that I make. I will push the button. This is what you have to do. And it's supposed to happen. And it doesn't happen. All right. What happens is something that's over there and it needs to happen over here. And that occurs constantly. Day after fucking day after fucking day after fucking day after fucking day. If something doesn't crop up in terms of the tech, one type of tech thing, be it my phone, the computer, the television, whatever, anything that has to do with technology, something every day will screw me. And it is not because, he's gotten older now. Fuck you. It's got nothing to do with age. All right. It has to do with these machines, much like a dog, a rabid dog that might sense your fear. These things bite me. And so I got this thing. It said it was coming. I couldn't have been happier. I'm going to need help. And on that day, on the 13th, and I should have been a tip-off, I get a thing from an email from them, okay? And they are saying that they're going to be sending over somebody. I don't even look. I just see that this is going to be the guy, and he's coming over, and he's going to do the stuff for me. I couldn't be more excited. And so that's all I looked at. And then I get a call from the guy. He says he's on his way over. I said, well, you're bringing over the new computer. He said, no, I'm not bringing over the new computer. I'm just coming to help you set up the computer that's supposed to be there. Well, the computer wasn't here. Okay. I said, what do you mean the computer's not with you? It's supposed to have come with you. That's what I was told. That was what I was told by the person I talked to. It was on the phone. Well, the person you talked to who was on the phone wasn't really in New York. Well, where was that person, and why weren't they in New York, and why weren't they in the store that I thought I was talking to? Well, they're not anymore because this is what we do in terms of our the corporation in order to kind of maximize profits or whatever the fuck it is. But he says he is coming over to do this. I said, well, the computer's not here. He said, well, that's because they're shipping it. I said, well, take a look at. I said, this is ridiculous. I said, you're downloading, you're going to help me do stuff, and the computer that I'm supposed to have isn't here. You were supposed to bring the computer. Well, that's not my problem. Well, it's certainly not my problem. And I said, well, you shouldn't come over because there's nothing to do. And then I go back and look, and I go down a chunk on this email and find out that he's coming over on the 13th to download the information. The computer's coming on the 27th. How difficult was it to have seen that? Huh? For anybody. It was, how? If you say that this guy is coming, as soon as I see that, I go, okay, here he comes. Now I go look for it. Why wouldn't the person who sent this out realize they're sending somebody out to download this shit, and they're downloading it into something that doesn't exist? And or maybe if they downloaded it, it would magically appear. I just cannot believe that. Yes, am I lucky enough to be able to have this problem? Sure. But now I've got to solve the problem. And Best Buy, I get on the phone again and discover that that's the point where I realized that nobody is really at that store. The first thing I make the call, I said, well, are you guys at this store at 44th and whatever? 44th and 5th? No, we're not here. I'm somewhere else. And then I start talking to them. Okay. And it took 5 hours, not exaggerating, for me to go up the corporate ladder, and I call it up the corporate rectum, through the corporate small intestine, I guess, to the large intestine, and up the esophagus to come out their mouth, and for them to tell me, you're fucked. So when I finally get to the very end, in the 5th hour, when I get as far as I can with them, now I'm at what is the managerial positions, okay? Because the first 5 calls I made, the first 5, which was about an hour and 15 minutes, the people I was talking to, I lost the connection, right? We we were no longer we it, they had they didn't hang up. It was just the we dropped the signal. So now I'm doing it again and doing it again, and I'm relentless because now it's a rabbit hole, and I'm chasing that rabbit right down the hole as far as I can go because I'm going to get this straightened out. Best Buy cannot be this shitty. They have to, and then finally I get someone and we start to talk. And also you'd say, by about the third person, I'm going, do you have a phone? Can you call me back? Well, we can't really call you back. Well, how is this going to work then? Okay, you have to be able to call me back. Well, they don't really allow us to call you back. I mean, this is what's going on. So finally I get to somebody and we're on together for a while. And they tell me that, yes, we're going to be able to, we're going to start working on this now. And that person finally takes a look at what I've been trying to tell them and goes, wow, this is incredible that they would send over somebody to download the information and help you set up a computer that wasn't there and won't be there for 2 weeks, for 2 weeks, for 2 weeks. So I went through them and then they sent me on to the next group and then I went on to another group. I literally went on until I got to the final group. Now I'm at the group that is really as close as you can be without talking to the home office, to talking to the corporate entity itself. And they go, this is really, I can't apologize to you enough. You have every right to be enraged. This is completely wrong. I don't know how this fell through the crack. This is a real problem we're looking at here, and I couldn't be more appalled by this, and I'm going to try to see what I can do to straighten this out. And I said, well, what about, why don't we try this? Why don't you see if you can cancel this order? Because literally at the other store, during my 5 hours, I discovered at the store that is not the store that I initially went to, but it's also no more than 15, 16, 20 blocks away from me. They actually have 2 of the computers that I want. It's there. Cancel the order and then put this one through, and we'll do this again on Friday or Monday or whenever it's able. Let's see. And he goes, yeah, that's a good idea. And then he calls and they said, well, corporate says that we can't cancel it. And I said, why? Well, in order for it to be canceled, that's me, is going to have to cancel the shipment first. I'm going to have to cancel the shipment. You're the ones who shipped it. You're the ones, it's your mistake. I'm now rectifying your problem. Well, in order for us to be able to cancel this and us to start over again, you're going to have to do the canceling. And I went on and on trying to explain to them that I really shouldn't be doing this and that I should be getting some sort of something on consignment or some sort of cash back or anything to make up for the fact that I'm doing their work. I then say, do you think it'll help if I go down to the store? Well, that should be able to help. That certainly might be able to work things out. And so I go down to the fucking store. And the poor guy who's the manager there just looks at me and goes like, I realize that you want to do this and it all makes perfect sense. And you're absolutely right. And we really did make an awful mistake here, but there's nothing we can do. What do you mean there's nothing you can do? You're in charge of the store. No, but corporate won't allow me to do it. So, hey, Best Buy, corporate headquarters, fuck you, okay? You should allow the people who actually are here in the city of New York or wherever they are throughout the entire country, all right? Should I have gone in there? Yes. But should I have been told by the people I'm calling, we're not in the store? That should be the first thing I'm told. If there are problems that'll be more difficult, you should go to the store. And I can't even find through them unless going through this whole kind of tracking system, if they have the computers there. It wasn't until late in the day that I discovered the ones down there. And they're telling me, corporate, you have to, if you want Best Buy to exist, you're going to have to allow the people who work for you to be involved in terms of being able to make things right. And so I did everything that had to be done, and I canceled it. And then I called Apple, and I had them deliver it. Okay, and then what I discovered, they also lied to me. They said they would be able to have somebody come over and be able to do the transfer of information from one computer to the other and help with the setup, because I have a deep fear of technology, as I explained earlier. And I did explain it to you, and I explained it to them. And they said, oh, don't worry, we're going to be able to send somebody over. That's what part of the deal is with Apple Care. Rockabye, baby, we're Apple Care. We care for you and your underwear. So then I'm down there. I'm talking to them on the phone. The person tells me, don't worry about a thing. I get it. And it arrives. And they said, when it arrives, you give us a call. We'll be able to set up something. I get it arrives, and it was unbelievable. Brought by Uber Eats. No kidding. No lie, Uber Eats. I said, can you bring over some, maybe some donuts or something? As long as you're doing this, ha, ha, ha. Boy, just slapping my thighs laughing. And they do it. They go, okay. I make the call to tell them that to set up the time to meet. And this poor person in Texas, no less, Texas, because nobody is in the place you're talking to, not even at Apple. They have special people around, people who come from interplanetary positions to land here on Earth to help us, because Apple is, they're aliens, a lot of them. That's how they come. They're able to care so well for us. And this poor woman, I'm kind of going, well, I need somebody, and she's calling around. Well, I don't think we have that. Well, I was told you had it. Well, let me check. Maybe you do have it in New York. And so she called around and found out that, no, they don't have it in New York, and I'm just going to have to do it. And I can do it for you, she said. We've never had any problem. Oh, you're going to have a problem with me because I'm not doing it this way. And I fought him for a while and then realized I was going to have to do it that way, or return this thing. Or, and this is really astonishing, take down a fairly large computer and a new computer in order for them to transfer. And how people could do that is beyond me. Even if I was in my youth, I could not be able to get that down there. And so 2 major corporations basically lied to me to sell me a computer. Okay? They didn't have to lie. I was going to buy the fucking computer. All right? And then but at least give me the option to try to find somebody who's going to help. All right? As opposed to making shit up, which is unbelievable. Because what we should do is try to run the government like we're running a business. Really? Is that what we should try to do? Because, boy, both those businesses did remarkably well. And our government is becoming more like a business because they're just lying to us, just making shit up on a daily basis. Well, yeah, boy, this is really, there's fraud being committed, we are told, on a daily basis, really much. And then really from the office of the presidency with his kid there, one of his 13 kids or whatever, the Musk job and the Musk man, and he is standing next to the president with a coat on in the Oval Office and telling us, boy, he's straightening the thing out because he's claiming there's fraud, but he's got no proof. There's no proof. There's no proof. There's no proof. If you're going to tell us there's fraud, show us the proof, okay? You have to do that. You can't just claim there's fraud, all right? It harkens back to the problems that we had with that idiot douchebag, Joe McCarthy. I did a remarkable paper on him when I was in school, read way too much about him, and he would just make numbers up. Gee, I wonder who that sounds like. Just made them up. There are 512 communists here. There's 247. There's 19 communists down on this Air Force base. There's 112. One of them is this. 2 of them are that. Whatever. All communists, right? Who were just really never just made it up. Just made the shit up and threatened that way. And this is what he's doing. All right? There is no, there may be fraud. Okay? There probably is some fraud. Find it. Okay? And bring us the proof. Just don't say there's fraud and this is what we're doing. Because you see a differentiation in numbers and you think it should be done another way. You're a businessman. What do you give a shit? It's not your money. All right? You've got so much fucking money, it doesn't matter. Okay? You don't understand what's going on with the folks out there at all, or what their needs are, or why government needs to exist in terms of those people, because it's there in part, whether people like it or not, to help protect them from people like you. That's what makes this so fucking absurd. Okay? But by the look at what business just really gets it. No, they don't. They made shit up. And then I'm calling Spectrum this week too. And in order to kind of fucking, I realized I could save money. And this was just stunning to me. So, and they made shit up. Well, we're going to give you this, that, and the other. They told me I was going to get this package, and in this package there would be this, and I'm not even going to tell you that story. Okay, I'm going to finish up the story about the folks at Best Buy, because those idiots then, the next day of 14th, I get this thing saying that on the 15th, that the computer's going to arrive. Well, it was supposed to arrive on the 27th. If I knew it was going to come on the 15th, I might have said, okay, how can we do this? Can we work this out? But no, it was 2 days later I get this. Okay? And they tell me it was the day after I get it on the 14th. Then I get an announcement that this guy is coming and he's downstairs and he's brought the computer. Now I have also spent myself and a friend, and it also is, I called to have them to say that they shouldn't ship it. I was told to do that. I did it. And I'm going back because I'm sure that this story excites you no end. Many of you have probably turned it off. Is he still talking about that? Yes, I'm still talking about it. Okay? I'm still talking about it. So I canceled it. I had somebody else I work with who canceled it. They said I was canceled. Then they said it was canceled again. Then I canceled it yet again. Then I had to go downstairs because the person showed up because it wasn't canceled. So UPS had created some line of bullshit too, because they said, yeah, it's canceled. Well, they hadn't. They sent some guy out, and good, because he was somebody who really probably needed the job, because it was something called Rody HD or something like that, which is a subsidiary of UPS, because they probably don't have to, maybe, they don't have to give him a uniform. They don't give him a truck. He drove all the way from like 40 miles from here to get me that thing, I guess, as quickly as possible. So in some sense, Best Buy was trying, but just totally off kilter, completely off base. Now I go downstairs, I cancel it. It goes back. I get a call. Did it come? Nope, I canceled it. Oh, well, if you canceled it, then, you're not going to be able to get, we're going to have to cancel the whole order. Perfect. That's what I wanted. And it was done. And it took the whole fucking week to get that done. Hours upon hours upon hours. Just appalling. Just fucking appalling. I don't even know. And I was going to do other stuff today. And I'm not. I'm going to save it for next week. Eric Adams, our mayor, is apparently involved he's basically did a quid pro quo, something you rarely hear, except for those of you who learn Latin. And he goes on Fox with the border czar. Isn't that a very sweet name for someone who's going to help protect us? He's going to czar it up, which refers to the who? The Russians. And he's going to make it's bigger than communism to have a czar. And he's going to make sure that border is shut. And he's going to make sure that Eric Adams deals with immigration in New York. And if he does that, quid pro quo, we will let Eric Adams off of the charges that are out there and pending. And the Justice Department drops the fucking charges. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then this guy Homan, the czar, announces on Fox, sitting next to him, you better honor that deal we made. Now, of course, they'll say it was a joke. It wasn't a joke. Okay? They did make a deal. All right? And they did drop the charges. And how do we know that? Because seven attorneys, okay, walked out of their jobs. All right? They'll probably make more, probably filing suits against the federal government, okay, which is what they'll be doing for all sorts of the other cases that'll be coming through. And then these idiots will ignore them because they believe that they're bigger than the judiciary. They're not. 3 equal branches of government, 7 attorneys. Go fuck yourself. Wow. And I don't even get to all the stuff that I'm in. There'll be more next week because it's absolutely extraordinary how crazy can get. And I can guarantee you it's going to get crazier. And crazier will pass infinity and laugh at it. I wish you all nothing but the best. Good luck out there. And if you find that you're being lied to, I'm sorry. That's the way things are now. They just make shit up. Just because he says something, the president says something, because Musk says something, just because they say it doesn't mean it's true. It's corrupt, the president says. It's just corrupt. No, doesn't make it true. It's fine by me if it is corrupt, okay? But I need the proof. I'm not happy that it's corrupt, no. But I need the proof. You just can't say there's corruption. And because you say there's corruption, I'm supposed to believe it. You have to show me some proof, all right? You do. That's the deal, all right? I'm an idiot in many ways. But when it comes to reality, if you're telling me that the earth is flat, you got to prove it. You're going to tell me there's corruption, you got to prove it. Please take care of yourselves. I hope you enjoy this week's Rantcast. And I'm telling you, the folks are really ramping up. And I may even be doing some rants down in Florida during the act when I see you guys. We'll see. It won't be live throughout the universe, but we'll be probably doing those along the way at some point. And I look forward to sharing them with you. We'll be doing one that'll be coming up this summer. That's for sure. So please, it is a privilege and a pleasure, as always, for you for me to be able to spend this kind of time with you. And I hope that I, in some way, shared with you that this trauma is that I went through, which is not really, I mean, let's face it, they're real traumas that people deal with. This was just me all wrapped up in the nonsense that was out there in terms of it. But I wanted you to know when you're sitting there on hold, it's not just you. They are trying to make us crazy, and they're doing a spectacular job. We're not what we were. We're not. And it didn't take long, did it, for us to be great again. From Rachel Baker. She's yelling about something I've never seen yelled about. Well, you'll see. Oh my God, the quiet car on Amtrak. I was traveling late at night, exhausted, to attend a funeral. One man was loudly on the phone, not quiet. I moved my seat farther down. Another man enters the car singing, not quiet. This is not a karaoke bar. This is the quiet car. The conductor reads everyone the riot act, and then immediately afterwards, the woman across the aisle starts playing music on her cell phone. No headphones. Not quiet. And then makes a call. Not quiet. Besides, no phone calls being allowed in the quiet car. Okay? Seems that those on the phone are only capable of yelling. Then another woman blows, or rather trumpets her nose so loudly, and goes into a hacking cough before running to the bathroom and being so violently ill you could hear her all the way down the car. Noise aside, put a damn mask on your face. Or if you're that sick, better yet, stay the fuck at home. Or at least go to the non-quiet car where everyone else in the quiet car should have been. Well, Rachel, that was a right to the point, dead on, slam the quiet car. Oh, come on. I have never spent time on the quiet car. Never. I don't go in there because it's too quiet. It makes me crazy. My brain just starts making more noise than the quiet car could have made. And that's what I got from here. And thank you for sharing with what you had from there. Thanks, Rachel. And just, I think just check the cars out. Some of them most of them are pretty quiet. But maybe you travel. I used to travel Amtrak a lot to see my folks. And I didn't find the Amtrak to be that loud. But the quiet car may just be the magnet of, oh, yeah, I'm going to go fuck with people who want it to be quiet. Who knows, Rachel? Take care of yourself. And I hope you find a quiet car that's quiet enough someday. Bill Pordlin poses an interesting thought. Our new commander in fuckwad pretty much has unlimited power. Why not use it for something good? Change the national anthem. Okay? The Star-Spangled Banner sucks donkey dick. It's a goat fuck. Francis Scott Key was a fucking hack. How about an American with some actual talent? I say we make it Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen. He is basically Mozart. And Francis Scott Key was Salieri. Bruce Springsteen is a steely-eyed, badass motherfucker of an American gem. Instead of everyone inwardly groaning as the star-spangled blather is droned on at ball games, how awesome would it be to sing along with the boss? I don't know much about Bruce's personal life or politics. I don't read any of the celebrity gossip tripe. I know Springsteen is a good guy because my ex-girlfriend, who is a saint, adores him. She hates anyone aligned with the scrotum in chief. Let's face it, a screaming pile of rat shit has more integrity, honesty, and intestinal fortitude than the douchebag whose name shall not be mentioned. I was invited to a Springsteen show but declined because I don't like crowds. I'd rather slam my balls in a drawer full of steak knives than endure that much humanity. Sorry, Louis, but I probably won't be attending your shows. Yeah, I can see you're all broken up. Boo fucking who. Born to Run is a win for the American people. Springsteen might object to his masterpiece being associated in any way to the aforementioned pile of rat shit, but it's for the greater good. Well, Bill, I'll tell you something. I don't think we're going to find that the commander-in-chief, who you will not mention, would make that move. I don't think he was a fan of Bruce Springsteen. As a matter of fact, I think he was using, if I'm not mistaken, some of Springsteen's music, or at least a song, when he was running for office. And Springsteen told him, nope, that's it. Get it off there. I didn't support you, so no. And since he didn't support him, and you know how he is about retribution, he's not going to pick Born to Run. And I would have to spend a little time here trying to think that one through, because Bruce has got some, some great songs. I mean, Born to Run would be great, but I don't know about the national anthem, but certainly anything, I think, in a way could give the Star-Spangled Banner a run for its money. And I'm glad you shared that with us, Bill. And send in some other suggestions, those of you out there who might think that there's a better way for us to, a better anthem, really, that we could use. Don Geckle wants to rant about some numbers. And if you don't agree with his numbers, then you write in and tell me what numbers you have and where you found them. And this just came in. This isn't a while ago. We talk too much, says Don. 70% of us are visual learners. If we showed a graphic of the last election, we might shut up the assholes who claim that numbnuts won a landslide election. 242,546,000 eligible voters. 87,316,000 did not vote. 155,230,459 actual votes cast. 64% of the turnout. 75,019,230 voted for Harris. 48.3%. 2,907,661 voted for other, always a great candidate, 1.7%. And 77,303,568 voted for Trump. And that's 49.8%. Okay? So according to these numbers, it's Trump won by 1.5%. I am adding that to what Donna said. And Don ends with Trump's vote is only 30.1% of all eligible voters. Anything but a mandate. I also would add that 1.5% is winning by 1.5% is not a mandate. It's called, it's what people have been yelling about. It's 50-50. The Trump 50% won by a little, and therefore should get a little more when it comes to negotiating. But that's not the way it's seen. But thanks, Don, for pointing out those numbers. And for those of you who don't believe those numbers, what can I tell you? Send me in the numbers and where you found them, okay? Because I think those are close to what I've seen. But what's amazing is 64% of us vote. And then we go, boy, 36% aren't paying attention or could give a shit, really, and don't think it matters. And who can blame them? Who can fucking blame them? Huh, Don? Thanks. Elizabeth Gray had this to share, and I'm glad she did, because it really, I got to say, it tickled me. And I can't believe I said that. Last night, I was expecting to hear more news about the end of the world as we know it. But instead, I got this statistic. 500 people have died while taking selfies since 2018. I started laughing uncontrollably, but I listened and learned. Who knew that the Grand Canyon had the most selfie deaths? But how were they discovered? By the people at the bottom of the canyon? Or by the people riding mules who were hit by an arm or a leg sailing by? And who knew that the number of selfie deaths in Russia was so great that the government created a safe selfie campaign called "A Cool Selfie Could Cost You Your Life"? I could just think about that all day, and I wondered if anyone took a selfie with Putin and lived. These questions led to more questions, like who really counts the corpses? People with a little spare time in between their 4 jobs and want to feel great they're alive? Or is it escaped convicts using a public library computer to upload their results to the Selfie Death Tracker app? Or maybe it's just a rogue chess club. And if selfies are judged by their number of likes, are selfie corpses rated? If so, is it by splat size? Number of limbs still attached? Does it get more points if their phone is working? A bonus if you can retrieve the actual killer selfie or find a near-death post? Last question. What do you put as the cause of death on the death certificate? Death due to selfie or death due to faulty footwork? Both? Finally, I was taken out of my questioning by the report of this fatal selfie taker. He was struck by lightning. I was shocked, not as much as he was holding his metal selfie stick. My laughter then turned into breath-holding, squealing, and even pee-wetting bliss. I'm still laughing. I know I shouldn't do it, but I do. I think I need to go out more. That's the source is the BBC World News. Wow. Finally, I was taken out of my questioning by the report of this fatal selfie taker. He was struck by lightning. I was shocked. Not as much as he was holding his metal selfie stick. That's a better read of that. And I really enjoyed that, Elizabeth. Thank you. Truly tickled me. From Lilly Blue, who we haven't heard from for a while. Just scream this one and add extra fuck yous. When I was trying to get information about evacuation orders here in Los Angeles, I had to sit through a commercial before it would give me the orders. Let that sink in for a minute. Then start screaming, okay, true story. Okay? I quit drinking 30 years ago. It's a fucking miracle I'm still sober. Well, I hope you're safe and sound and that you got your, I believe you did, your evacuation order in time. I guess you must have, or I wouldn't be hearing from you, but I hope all is well, Lily, and that your house is in order. And thanks for sharing. Here's one from Chris Weathers, and we haven't heard anybody scream about this in, well, I think forever. Dear Lewis, while recently shopping at a Walgreens in Nashville, the cashier refused to sell me cigarettes because my license had expired. I don't drive anymore, but it's the only ID that I had. My legal age nephew that was driving me offered to go into the store and purchase them for me while I waited in the car. The cashier refused to sell them to him because he was purchasing a carton of the same type of cigarettes. I wasn't trying to buy drugs without a prescription. I wasn't even trying to buy alcohol. I just wanted a carton of fucking cigarettes. I don't drink anymore. I haven't used illegal drugs in decades. Smoking is the one only self-destructive behavior I still entertain. Jesus, tap dancing Christ Walgreens, let me have this one fucking thing. How old are you, Chris? I mean, that's what's amazing. They can't make a judgment call that you have to have the ID. Or maybe you're a kid, but I don't think so. If your license is expired. So, wow. You hadn't used illegal drugs in decades. It's so amazing. They can't just sell them to you. They need a legal license. Wow. And that's your ID. Thank you, Chris. Wow. And you're just trying to get smokes. I used to try to get smokes. Maybe I won't go into it. That isn't the way God sends messages, through a cashier at Walgreens. But you never know. He works in wondrous ways. From Amber Gonzalez. Thank you for this, Amber. Hey, Lewis, lately the country has gone to shit. I mean, that's no secret. But I recently experienced something good I just had to share. Back in September, my kid's school installed unnecessary speed bumps on the private road that goes up the hill to the school. Why? Because some bored asshat had nothing better to do than bitch to the school until they put in the speed bumps. They have been an inconvenience ever since. That is, until the county that got blasted with snow in January. After 2 days of distance learning, my own personal hell, I drove the kids to school, ready to kick those assholes out of the car, when I noticed the speed bumps were shattered to hell. The school never marked the speed bumps, so the snowplow trucks destroyed the little concrete heaps. I swear, it was the best thing to happen the entire school year. The speed bumps are gone. The asshat can suck it, and I officially love snowplows. That is all to say in these times of turmoil and never-ending doom headlines. Take the small wins, and when things get corrected by Mother Nature's smile and giggle like someone is tickling your balls. even if you don't have any. That's really just a very one of the sweetest rants I've read in a while, and I'm glad that it worked out for you and that you enjoyed it so much. Wow. That is all to say in these times of turmoil. Oh, well done, Amber. Well done. Thank you. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me. Aha, Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.